Welcome, everybody. Welcome, gamers of all types. This is Travisor here. We're at PGX 2025. Super excited to bring you the energy of the weekend. So sad you're not here, but we are so lucky to be bringing you interviews and content. I'm so excited about this next guest, but I want to talk about our hosts here. Who are you with?
Oh, hey, I'm Scout. I'm just kind of hanging out. I'm new to this team, and I'm glad to be part of all what's going on. So,
hello, I'm Joseph the Voice, hanging out here with the great G2B group, but even more so hanging out with none other than...
My name is Brian Colin. I'm a video game designer since 1982, and I'm delighted to be here.
It is not every day we get to have like a video game Hall of Famer having us join, again, talk. We get to see you at so many events. Again, we travel around the country doing these shows and interviewing, but again, you're at a lot of these, and this is the first time we had to join us on the show. We are so glad to have you here.
And we're in a booth. We're in an actual space. We're not just talking in the aisles.
Yeah, again, the high quality that we set here at G2B, it's we just pretend to be high quality, but you know, it looks nice. So
fake it till you make it, right?
Well, again, thank you so much for joining us today. How has your weekend been at PGX so far?
It's been a ton of fun. I was expecting a smaller show. I don't know why, but as I was driving over from Chicago, I'm watching the setup and I'm going, this is a real game show with a real arcade. It's beautiful. It's wonderful.
Yeah, it's again absolutely beautiful. We were here last year, and again they have expanded pretty massively. Again, they're working on kind of bringing it out a good variety of game consoles, like arcade games, the pinball, a vendor hall, music. Like there's a ton of different stuff to check out here for. And again, they really are up in their game since last year. And again, the energy on the floor is so awesome. But most importantly, again, when you walk through that door into the arcade thing, what's the first game you see to your right?
When you walk into which door exactly?
And you're walking in that door to the arcade.
Yeah, no. Which door?
There's a pretty
Come on, that was a leading question.
I can see Rampage right on the corner over there.
Hey, he said the word.
Obviously, we'll start.
I noticed that. That's the first thing I noticed when I got here.
We are very familiar with his work because we go to these shows all the time. But if you are not initiated, this man himself is the legend behind the Rampage franchise, the brainchild. Again, it's unique art style and design. And it's really cool that, again, he's just like this really cool human that has these all the awesome stories that I keep overhearing.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm glad to have him here firsthand and in person. So, again, outside of that, you've worked on other games like General Chaos and Xenophobe.
Our Tribals is here, too.
Our Tribals. Oh, awesome.
Oh, yeah. I didn't know you worked on that one. Oh, yeah.
Again, when it comes to these games, and again, you have a very unique style of kind of like, it's a kind of a destructive but still like cartoony, almost slapsticky style.
Absolutely. I was old enough that I was raised on Looney Tunes on Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So violence is good if it's comical.
Yeah.
That's why you can drop an anvil on the coyote. And some of these games, management didn't. Rampage is one of them. We had to fight to get that done because they did not get that, hey, if we make it comic, it's okay for buildings to be knocked down and people to be eaten. And it turned out to be the highest earning video game of its time.
I did not know
when
that.
When it finally was released, it broke every record up till that day. But it was comedy that drove me to design. Virtually everything I've ever designed has been about making the player laugh in the arcade days because it was all about getting that next quarter. The later home console stuff, they sell you the game, they don't care. You like it, you don't, you bought the game. The arcade, I had to get you on there, and I had to get you on there again, and again.
I do want to say you did a very good job in that because I think, as we talked before, I have put a lot of quarters in at the pizza place where there were two games, right? One was some weird, some Need for Speed game that never worked, but another one was old classic Rampage. And
cool.
I put so many quarters into that one, it's not even funny. So,
well, I appreciate that.
Very good job on achieving your goal.
That kept me employed.
Well, a little after the time, but yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that it won out over the game that didn't work really makes me feel good. Thank you.
Yeah,
Also, again,
part of my childhood.
It's definitely again a unique experience. Again, between like Rampage, Xenophobe, there was a multiplayer experience to a lot of those, right?
Yes.
And again, there's just something about playing in person with friends,
couch
or strangers,
yeah,
because we did the first 3-player game ever, and we knew you were going to be playing with someone you didn't know. Because up until then, friends would go in, a couple of them, they'd play head-to-head games, they'd play against each other. Rampage, I wanted you to play any way you wanted to play it. You might not know this guy, so you're not sure if you're going to be competing with him or accidentally hitting him or teaming up. I wanted there to be no wrong way to play it. As long as you were laughing, when you shrunk back down, you didn't die. You got naked, you crawled off the screen. and you were laughing, hopefully, so that made you maybe dig for that next quarter.
Yep.
And I know in particular, you take a lot of the things that you've done and you pay homage to that in other games. You always like to try to bring it back in some type of way and pay homage. You maybe explain to us sometimes that you've done that?
What do you mean? I'm not sure.
When we spoke last time, you told me about that they were working on some other Rampage projects, they were working on some other projects, and you're finding ways to kind of bring the old back in with the new and kind of give life to it in different ways by paying homage to like you said, some of those comical things or some of those little nippet things that you liked back in the day.
Yeah, no, it was me growing up to be who I am, whether that's good or bad, was Saturday morning cartoons. Like my kids didn't get, that you guys didn't get to experience. It was and again, those cartoons that many people don't realize were made for adults in movie theaters. So they were aimed at adults, but as a kid you could appreciate them, even if you didn't know that was a parody of Peter Lorre. It was the little mad doctor. But you appreciated that stuff. I mean, I got through high school history and reading classes, Mad Magazine's short movie parodies that were in there. Tale of Two Cities. Yeah, I know how it is. I know the story. In my version, it stars Dean Martin and Frank Sinatra, because that was what was in the Mad Magazine version. But as long as you kept that out of your paper, the English teacher would pass you. So we take the things we love. They make our lives better, and if we're doing it right, we're making other people's lives better with the stuff we took in all our life.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, God, that was deep.
I know you've worked, yeah, right. It's kind of interesting. Definitely, again, there's definitely love in art. Again, especially when something might seem on face value, like, hey, okay, this is slapstick and comedic, but you have to understand that line to walk it correctly. There's definitely and again, there's definitely just a uniqueness in the design style that just.
Thank you.
You can definitely definitely tell there's love
and
there.
clearly, like you said, you found a way of doing it the right way, because at first they didn't want to put the game out. They didn't see the value in it, and you sold the value on it. You made them understand and see why this comedy, why these extra ad libs and all this extra stuff was going to add value into it, and it made them a boatload of money. So I mean, you were right.
It's nice.
I'm going to give you your flowers, man, before you pass. You were right.
Believe me, and it's a team effort. I get a lot of credit because I get asked to these shows, and yes, I conceived it, but it has always been a team effort. There are multiple people working on it, and at those early Bally Midway years, everybody was pulling for everybody else. The animators worked on pretty much every game. The programmers were typically down to one game each, but everybody would come by your office, say, that's great, that's stupid, that's fun, that's not. Everybody pulled for everybody else. And that's the way I thought the industry was. After Bally Midway years, that's not the way it was in a lot of places. We were at a very special kind of Wild West sort of time when it was just like, can we do this? Who's going to stop us?
Not to mention, you guys are still a really tight-knit group in a lot of ways. I see you guys out at shows, and you guys talk about the old days, you guys working together, and...
I don't know how tight we all still, I feel like we all still remember, mutual respect between the people that worked back in those early. Middle management wasn't a thing back then. There was nobody looking over our shoulders. We all just kind of figured it out on our own, and sometimes it worked, and sometimes, we haven't got the time to tell you the really horrible games that I've made.
Oh, we can make the time.
Oh yeah, they're fun. They're fun too. But that's for another time. That's for another time.
So
I want to hear.
Your early start was in more traditional media like movies and films, correct? And then
I was a filmmaker. I was a filmmaker.
So how was the transition into the games? How'd you end up there?
I was a filmmaker. Did a lot of films. In college, I finally did an animated film because I could draw. I was kind of doing ads for, I was making ads for local newspapers that were popular, and that kept me in beer and pretzels, and then out of college I saw Bally Midway wanted an animator, and I thought, what did they? Oh, they probably want someone to paint the back classes. And they're like, no, we've seen your award-winning animated film. We want you to do art for video games. And I'm like, really? Pac-Man? You're going to pay somebody to do that? And I didn't really want the job. I mean, I did because they were going to pay me actual money. But I kind of choked up when they offered me the job, and I accepted it because I said to some friends, that's it. Childhood's over, man. I got a real job. And man, was I wrong.
You still got the childhood.
You're wrong. So childhood kept going?
It has never been anything like a real job, and childhood is still going on. Because I worked on Discs of Tron. It was the very first game I got assigned to.
There you go. That's a good one.
And it blew me away. It was just like, I'm doing stuff in the morning, and I'm seeing it in the game in the afternoon. Whereas a filmmaker, you're filming for months, and you're drawing for weeks, and you're send the film away because it was film back in those days. And now I'm doing something in the morning and I'm playing it in the afternoon. I fell backwards into this industry at just the right time.
So I got a little bit of a caveat question to something you had said. I'm kind of going to pass it to you at the same time because it's a question kind of from you to him. So, I mean, we talk about you being a filmmaker. We talk about you being a game designer. But you've had the luxury of also being in movies. One very big movie in particular. So why don't I pass it over to you, and then you can ask the question.
Yeah, wow, way to force it in. I'm good. We had a previous conversation about, you want to talk, well, how do you want to pronounce that? So, tell us about your movie experience, right? So, you had a cameo in a very popular movie that actually got cut, unfortunately. Tell us about that story?
I don't have to now. You spoiled it.
Man, I can't take me anywhere.
No, when they did the Rampage movie, the casting people were nice enough to let me be an extra. The assistant director found out who I was, shot a cameo. I spent the afternoon running down the streets of Chicago following a camera. I had friends who, the producer called me after that and invited me down to meet The Rock in the studio during the last week of shooting. I had friends call me from LA when the test screenings were out to say my cameo, my face was 15 feet tall and the building's coming down. I'm at the premiere with my wife going, here it comes, here it comes, here it comes. At the after party, the producer came up to me and said, sorry, Brian, 3 weeks ago, Warner came in and cut out 30 minutes of film, and you ended up on the cutting room floor. So I've never seen it, but I was there, and they actually interviewed me on the DVD, so it was cool.
You are
they were
special
wonderful, by the way.
DVD.
They were wonderful. And The Rock, Naomi Harris, The Rock, the producers, everybody, the director, they treated me like royalty, and I felt like a 5-year-old kid at Christmas time. I was in awe. I was geeking out to the max. And The Rock is a wonderful guy. Is he? As nicer than everybody says he is.
Really?
Yeah, he really is.
I mean, I have no idea how nice everyone says he is, but now I'm looking forward to being. Maybe we'll have him on here next time. Where are you, The Rock?
Obviously, again, you fostered in the golden age of our arcade games, right? And like, you had your hands in so many different projects. Again, I personally absolutely love Xenophobe. Again, I thought it was it's a very unique game for its era. It's a really fun. Again, exploring around these spaceships, and again, it's another 3-player game. It's really awesome. What do you think is like your most underrated property that you wish people were like, oh, I wish latched on to more?
Yeah. What?
For any reason, you can take some time to think too.
I did a game called Arctic Stud Poker Run, which was in the LAN days, like the early 2000s.
Okay.
It was full contact poker deathmatch racing game on high-powered, rocket-powered, heavily armed snowmobiles in a 9-square-mile perpetual winter in a Cthulhu Mythos reality.
Oh,
and it is the most fun game of anything I've ever made, but we only sold about 100,000 copies.
Sorry, what was the game called again?
It was called
Take my money.
Arctic Stud Poker Run.
About to say I've never heard of it, but I am now a very big fan.
It was that's my most
that's like a 1-sentence elevator pitch. You're like, what?
I was like, you kept going, and I was just more into it, and I had no idea what was going on, but I am down for this ride.
It was before Twisted Metal, and nothing else was like it. unfortunately, like I say, we only sold about 100,000 copies.
What systems was it on? Do you remember?
Huh?
Was it arcade or what systems was it on?
It was a PC game. It was a
it was on the computer.
LAN game.
Game Refuge?
Huh?
Was this
by Game Refuge? Yeah.
I know what I'm doing later.
Yeah.
I'm
You can download it. You can download. Oh, it's not currently on the. It was on our Arctic Stud website. I just had my website redone and moved. It's not up there yet, but you will be able to get it from me free at the Game Refuge website here in a few weeks.
From you free?
Yeah.
Wow, you are.
Now,
very
unfortunately, the internet part doesn't work anymore because the company I did it under is no longer exists.
Yeah, we can fix that.
So, but you can get it and play it as a LAN game if you got friends because
Okay.
it's always worth
I know
it.
some people who are on LAN.
We literally won a week-long
It is
LAN
more
between
fun when you can
Christmas
hear
and New
them
Year's.
scream, man.
Yeah, we literally, for the last 23, 24 years now, we do a week-long LAN party as G2B here between Christmas and New Year's.
Okay.
So,
You're invited.
yeah, no, that is
I want your
absolutely.
reaction.
I will shoot. We will shoot you video. I'm going to send you some video.
You got my email to shoot it to me and I'll send it to you.
I
gotta
love
break it
this.
down, yeah.
All right, guys, I gotta go. I'm really sorry.
Oh man,
Seriously.
that's so many
Okay,
questions.
seriously, you are at so many cons. Are there any upcoming events that you're coming up to next?
Effing Con, I love that name, in Effingham, Illinois. Effing Con is coming up at the 1st of November. Second week in November, I'm in Detroit at the. That's going to be a great con, and then my last show of the year is at Free Play, Florida.
Okay, wonderful. And again, seriously, if they want to find you online and find more information about you, where can we find you?
Facebook, I'm Brian F. Colin, rhymes with Bolin. Game Refuge is on Facebook. The official General Chaos fan page is there. We're working on the sequel right now. I'm done. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so
very
much.
So happy to have you
We're
around.
so lucky to
Say
have you here.
cheers
To a great
It's
PGX.
fun. Yes.
This is
Thank you.
Travis Orr here. We'll bring you more content soon.
Yes, thank you.